Okay, so this is where we are now with the 0.1. Again, not letting it finish because we don't really need to. But obviously behaving very differently now. We have much more stuff like this fan of water coming up along the sides. We have a much bigger wake. That's just the thing with flip sims. They behave very differently at different resolutions. I mean, they kind of have to. I mean, if a particle represents a unit of liquid, I mean, if the particle represents too much liquid to capture a small detail, it's just not going to work. So that's going to happen. When we go down in particle separation size again, thus again multiplying everything times 8, it's going to look different again. So rather than spend too much time doing anything here at the 0.1 level, I'm just going to say let's just plow right on ahead to 0.05. And we're almost done actually setting up the flip stuff, believe it or not. Let's just cache that and then take a look at it. So to cache, we'll make a geometry node and put it near the corresponding sim1. So out ocean splash. I'll make it a little color like that. So what do we need? We need .import fields. We need to import the results from this. So put the dot network there. I'm going to put this here and say, go find the flip object that's inside of it. There it is. And now these fields will refer to the ones that are generated by that. So what do we need? We need the surface, which is an ISO surface. So if we come in like a couple of frames maybe, or just one frame maybe, that's obviously going to be slower now. We're going to need the surface. We're going to need the velocity field. And we're going to need the particles themselves. So vel, we'll make this one invisible. And we need geometry, which is the particles. And we can just say, I mean, it says smoke, but it doesn't really matter. They're just particles anyway. And there they are. Cool. So we have everything. Middle click and hold to make sure you have everything. You should have millions of points. You should have the 3 velocity, X, Y, and Z, and you should have the surface. Every liquid caching thing goes through a compression. And compression mostly just throws away all the particles that aren't near the surface, much like the way the narrowband stuff's already doing. So it probably won't really do anything for the particles. Otherwise, it will throw out any other attributes that are unnecessary. And the volumes also, it will just cull it down to the stuff that's near the surface and is most relevant. We won't need the velocity field necessarily deep inside of it when it's really just going to be used to do masking calculations and motion blur stuff that all pertains to the surface. Even the whitewater mostly just pertains to the surface. So fluid compress needs just to know the particle separation. So take the particle separation and put it there, like so. And we'll need to steal a cacher, one of these file cachings we've set up. So I'm going to go to the sim ocean foam, steal his, so copy that, paste it here. We have to call it something else, so we'll call it ocean splash. These ones especially will be happy that we're saving it to a different hard drive if you can, if you have that kind of set up. And right after that, thinking ahead, we'll put compressed. Maybe actually I'll just call this compressed. File cache compressed. So all the usual stuff applies. It's going to be versioned. The file's going to be called based on this thing, etc., etc. So that's about it. We had set it to 0.05, I'm pretty sure. We did, and that's it. So I'm going to cache this by going to our out and copying our foam here. I'll turn it on. We'll call it fetch compressed. Put it over there. Stay nice and organized. This definitely relies on, actually, I guess this doesn't rely on anything. This doesn't care about the ocean spectrum or anything like that. So this can just be separate. We'll hook it into the main simulation cache merge, but it can be separate from the infinite ocean process, which really doesn't obviously play into this. Awesome. So this will take a while, probably, maybe an hour or two. So go do something else.